the Dallas Cowboys hope to take the next step in 2019. While many expected to see an aggressive approach by the front office like signing a big-name free agent such as Earl Thomas, the Cowboys have stuck to their old plan. Their free agency has been a quiet one, but they've managed to find some good players at very decent prices. However, if you look at how the starters look like right now, there hasn't been much of a change, especially on offense. This isn't anything bad, of course. At the end of the day, this is the same football team that turned its season around and went 7-2 since November. Even still, Cowboys Nation hopes to see a change. Despite a talented roster, Dak Prescott's offense didn't show the results we all expected it to. The main reason why was play calling, which led to former OC Scott Linehan losing his job after the season. With a group of really good players, the team's biggest hope for change lies in new OC Kellen Moore. Moore spent last season as the QB coach for the Cowboys after ending his career as a player, which he spent as a backup with the Detroit Lions and with Dallas. Although it was a controversial decision, I love the idea of giving Moore the job. Ever since he declared for the 2012 NFL Draft, in which he went undrafted, many saw him as a very smart prospect. A lot of analysts agreed that he wasn't going to have a very successful playing career, but that he'd eventually be a great coach. Since his promotion, many have come out to praise Kellen Moore. Speaking on 105.3 The Fan, Travis Frederick talked about how well he thought Moore would do at his new gig. He even mentioned that if you sat down to talk football with Moore, you'd think he was a genius. Frederick isn't the only one who's spoken well about Moore, though. Former Boise State coach Chris Peterson described him as light years ahead of people his age. Playing for the Boise State Broncos, he ran a very complex offense that would rival that from an NFL team. Not to mention, numerous reporters have talked about how NFL teams view him. Daniel Jeremiah even said he was a rising star that'll be in the head coaching conversation in the near future. I've mentioned this before, Kellen Moore is a rising star and he'll be in the mix for HC gigs, CFB or NFL, in the near future. https://t.co/he'll job for Hawk on offense. There won't be many personnel changes for the Cowboys. Randall Cobb will take Cole Beasley's spot at slot receiver, Jason Witten will be lining up at tight end again and will likely split snaps with Blake Jarwin, and Travis Frederick will be back at center to take Joe Looney's place. These are relevant changes for the team, but likely not enough to be the ones that make the Cowboys take the next step. The biggest change has occurred in the coaching staff. And if the Cowboys want to get past the divisional round with an improved defense in 2019, Kellen Moore will have to do a very solid job in his new position. Personally, I truly believe he will. Coaching staff: Kellen Moore, offensive coordinator. There were a plethora of opportunities for the Dallas Cowboys to attack the free agent safety market to upgrade a position that had its struggles in 2018. They didn't do anything of consequence, signing journeyman George Iloka to a very friendly one-year deal to compete with Jeff Heath for snaps at the traditional strong safety look. With Earl Thomas, Trey Boston, Tyrann Mathieu, and a host of other names available that the Cowboys could have pursued, they constantly displayed their comfort level and excitement in third-year safety, Xavier Woods. Cowboys Nation should join in their excitement. Xavier Woods is an ascending player for the Cowboys. He brings an edge to the back end of the defense and plays the ball aggressively. After a rookie season where he showed a lot of nice things, especially as a slot corner, Woods came back with an excellent second season in Dallas as the team's full-time free safety. According to Pro Football Focus, Xavier Woods allowed one reception every 31.1 coverage snaps, which was good for 11th in the NFL among safeties who played at least 352 coverage snaps. That rate was just behind Eric Weddle and better than Barry Church, Demarius Randall, Trey Boston, Jordan Poyer, Kenny Vaccaro, Eddie Jackson, Terrell Edmonds, Adrian Amos Jr., Rayshad Jones, and Clayton Geathers. He had the sixth lowest passer rating against among safeties at 62.8, tied with Eric Weddle and better than Harrison Smith, Derwin James, Rashad Jones, Adrian Amos Jr., LaMarcus Joyner, Kenny Vaccaro, and Clayton Geathers. In coverage, Woods was graded as the 20th best safety from 2018, but we saw him make a substantial impact on the game with his bone-jarring hits and his coverage. In 2018, he was third on the team in passes defended with 9 behind Byron Jones and Chidobe Awuzie. Woods also tied for first on the team with 2 interceptions. Xavier Woods made several bone-rattling hits on throws over the middle of the field that jarred the ball loose, leading to incompletions. As the season wore on, he became more and more confident and provided the Cowboys with a physicality over the MDDLE that they've lacked in years past. It's entirely possible that the Cowboys draft a safety to add to the competition with Heath and DeLoca, but it appears that the team is confident in what Xavier Woods brings to the table in their 4-3 scheme. With what he's shown over his first couple of years in the league, I'd expect him to man the middle of the field for a long time. He's got the work ethic and the respect of his teammates and will do an excellent job for the Cowboys. As the Cowboys continue to build their roster, we should feel confident that they have their free safety spot taken care of. Though they brought in George Iloka and still have Jeff Heath, the safety position is in really good shape with Xavier Woods manning the deep third of the field. The Dallas Cowboys free agency has been a fairly interesting one. As usual, they remained quiet through the first wave of free agents, letting the top talent go elsewhere for big-time contracts. Since then, they've been able to add pretty good veterans for excellent prices. They've been able to address just about every position of need prior to the NFL draft. While the free agents they've brought in are long-term answers, some of them will be very important starters and will contribute to the team's attempts of making a serious run for the Super Bowl. And the best part of it all? Although they've been making a handful of veteran signings, they've handed out nothing but inexpensive one-year deals. Let's take a closer look at each player's cap number for 2019. Jason Witten, $4.25 million. Christian Covington, $1.68 million. Kerry Hyder, $887,500. Randall Cobb, $4.56 million. George Iloka, $735,000. Robert Quinn, $8 million. Every single one of these players is coming to play to Dallas under a one-year contract. This has truly been a remarkable job by the Cowboys front office. They're helping the team take the next step. Because make no mistake about it, this is a Dallas Cowboys team that's close. They're really in a position to be a Super Bowl contender when the season begins. What's impressive is that despite going after these veterans, they're not risking their future at all. The Cowboys have a ton of young players waiting for contract extensions. The talk right now revolves around DeMarcus Lawrence, but Dak Prescott, Ezekiel Elliott, Amari Cooper and Byron Jones are all right there on the waiting list. And after them, Jalen Smith, and more will follow. The Cowboys have managed this pretty well. According to Over the Cap, Dallas would be the team with the most cap space in 2020. Estimating the base salary cap to be $200 million, OTC has the Cowboys leading the NFL with over $116 million. This will soon change, as the front office will likely address the extensions mentioned and the cap space will go down considerably. Many have reacted to the Robert Quinn trade with fear of him being a replacement for Lawrence instead of a complement, but the truth is Quinn's arrival should have no impact at all on Tank's situation. The Cowboys have the cap space to deal with those deals in the future, and they will. It's just a matter of being patient. After weeks of waiting, the Dallas Cowboys have finally completed a trade with the Miami Dolphins that will bring defensive end Robert Quinn to Dallas for the 2019 season. Robert Quinn will do a new one-year deal with the With Robert Quinn now in the mix, the Dallas Cowboys have pretty much filled all of the holes to their roster and can now enter the 2019 NFL Draft without having to focus on any one specific position. That means they can truly draft the best player available with each of their 6 draft picks, which should make things that much more interesting. There is still several weeks to go until the first round of the NFL Draft kicks off April 25th, but don't expect the Cowboys to be sitting on their hands waiting. They still have quite a bit of work to do and could still make another move or two in free agency. But their main focus now should shift towards DeMarcus Lawrence and what to do about his potential long-term extension. It's been reported the Dallas Cowboys and DeMarcus Lawrence's representatives are still pretty far apart on the parameters of a new contract. Stephen Jones has even said the two sides are at an impasse, which is more than a little concerning considering how important Lawrence is to the Cowboys' defense. I'm personally not too concerned the two sides won't be able to come to an agreement eventually, but I do find myself becoming a little more concerned the further these negotiation tactics get drawn out. Unfortunately, that's led me down the road of thinking about what the Cowboys could possibly do if they decided to trade DeMarcus Lawrence. I'll go on the record right now by saying I think trading DeMarcus Lawrence is a bad idea. I just have a hard time seeing how they can immediately replace him. Having said that though, there is a trade scenario I could get on board with. For argument's sake, let's say the New York Jets got on the phone and wanted to trade for DeMarcus Lawrence. What could the Cowboys get as compensation? To answer this, let's take a look at the Khalil Mack trade between the Oakland Raiders and the Chicago Bears. Here's what went down to complete that trade. Bears received Khalil Mack, a 2020 second-round pick, and a conditional 2020 fifth-round pick. Raiders received 2019 first-round pick, 2020 first-round pick, 2020 third-round pick, and a 2019 sixth-round pick. Based on this information, the Dallas Cowboys should at least ask the Jets for their 2019 first-round draft pick, no. 3 overall, and their 2020 first-rounder. That may be enough to sway the Cowboys to trade away DeMarcus Lawrence, but for good measure they'd probably ask the Jets to throw in another mid-round pick this year or in 2020. Let's pretend this happens. The Cowboys would now need to replace D-Law and now have 2 first-round draft picks and a potential mid-round pick from the Jets to do just that. That's not even mentioning the 6 draft picks they currently hold. If it was me, I'd go ahead and draft defensive tackle Ed Oliver at no. 3 overall and then sign free agent Ziggy Ansah to play opposite the recently added Robert Quinn. I think between the 3 of them they could adequately replace some of Lawrence's loss of production. This is all completely hypothetical, but if the Cowboys can't work out a contract extension with DeMarcus Lawrence, I think I would be on board if this is how they went about replacing No. 90 after trading him away. Ziggy Ansah is no D-Law, but a defensive line with Ansah, Ed Oliver, and Robert Quinn is pretty intriguing. What do you think the Dallas Cowboys should do with DeMarcus Lawrence?